Hello everyone. I'm so glad to see you back on my channel. Today, we'll continue following the heartfelt love story between the single mother Hoai Ca and the police officer Hung, two souls who have endured many scars, yet somehow found each other at the crossroads of life. Their love isn't loud or dazzling, it's gentle, like the early morning breeze, like the last golden rays slipping through the areca trees in front of their porch. Hoai Ca, a strong woman who once raised her child alone through countless hardships, always believes that as long as one lives with kindness, happiness will eventually smile upon them. And Hung, a dedicated young officer who has witnessed much loss in his line of work, finds in her a peace he has never known before. Then, fate brings them together in an unexpected way. From that very first glance, from small moments of helping each other, their story slowly unfolds, filled with joy, tears, and the trials they must face together. Join me in today's video to see where the love of Hoai Ca and Hung will lead, and whether the past will finally let them live fully in the present. The first light of dawn broke gently. The sun hid shyly behind the bamboo grove, scattering its first golden rays across the small garden. The autumn breeze carried a hint of coolness, along with the scent of damp earth, fallen persimmon leaves, and the cheerful chirping of birds on the tiled roof. In a modest house nestled against the hillside, Hoai Ca opened the door and stepped out. A soft wool scarf wrapped around her neck, and across her shoulder hung two old bamboo baskets. The faint sound of her wooden sandals tapping the brick floor echoed warmly in the quiet morning. She took a deep breath. The freshness of dawn filled her chest, washing away all the weariness of yesterday. The garden behind her house still shimmered with dew. Tiny drops clung to each persimmon leaf, sparkling like pearls. Every tree was heavy with fruit, crisp, golden red persimmons gleaming under the soft autumn light. With gentle hands, she picked them one by one, wiped them clean, and laid them carefully into her basket. Her hands, slender, roughened by years of labor, moved tenderly, as if cradling memories. Each persimmon was a piece of her devotion, the work of a single mother who never stopped tending her garden, rain or shine, nurturing it the way she nurtured her child's future. This year's harvest is wonderful. They should sell well, she murmured with a faint smile, her voice blending softly with the morning breeze. As the sun climbed higher, its light grew warmer and brighter. Hoai Ca lifted her baskets and walked down the red dirt path leading to the village market. She crossed a small stream, stepped carefully over the creaking wooden bridge, and joined the lively flow of people heading to the early market. The market was bustling that morning. The air was rich with the scent of sticky rice, sesame candy, and ripe pomelos, blending into a comforting warmth. Laughter and chatter filled the place. Children played near the stalls while vendors called out to customers, the whole scene alive with the simple joy of rural life. Hoai Ca found a small spot near the gate, beneath the shade of an old tropical almond tree. She spread out a clean cloth and arranged her persimmons neatly, layer upon layer, each fruit shining as though glazed with honey. When a customer stopped by, she greeted them with a bright, friendly voice. "Fresh persimmons here. Sweet and crisp, from my garden." The woman who tasted one smiled in delight. "These are real countryside persimmons, sweet, crunchy, and so natural. Give me 2 kilos, dear." Hoai Ca wrapped the fruit carefully, her smile blooming like sunlight. Golden rays streamed through the market roof, lighting her face, simple, humble, yet full of life. That afternoon, autumn's sunlight lay gently over the garden, soft and golden like a thin silk scarf draped across the earth. Hung had asked for an early leave from work, something he rarely did, for a reason he kept quietly to himself. Today, he wanted to bring Hoai Ca a small joy. In his hand was a fresh bouquet from the morning market, yellow chrysanthemums, white baby's breath, and a few deep red velvet roses. Inside his small bag lay a modest gift, a pair of knitted gloves and a scarf he had secretly ordered a week ago, so she could use them when the first cold winds of the season arrived. As soon as he stepped through the gate, he rolled up his sleeves and began tidying the yard. The bamboo broom brushed gently over the brick floor. The sound of dry leaves rustling in the wind gave the afternoon a peaceful rhythm. He wiped the windows, arranged the flowers, then headed into the kitchen. The fragrance of wood smoke mingled with the aroma of fried shallots, spreading warmth throughout the little house. He planned to cook her favorite dishes: winter melon soup with shrimp, braised fish with pepper, and a plate of boiled greens with ginger fish sauce. Simple meals, but filled with care. Hung wasn't exactly skilled in the kitchen, yet today he worked with unusual patience. While seasoning the food, he couldn't help but smile, picturing Hoai Ca walking in, surprised to find everything already prepared. Just an ordinary meal, perhaps, but for him it was the purest way to show his affection. Clumsy, maybe, but sincere. As he was peeling the last carrot, a soft voice called from the gate. "Ka hung oi, ko na kong?" "Hung, are you home?" He quickly wiped his hands and stepped outside. Standing there was a woman in her 30s, looking tired and uneasy, her face carrying traces of worry. He recognized her immediately, Ms. Han, the sister of Du, who had once helped Hoai Ca with farm work. "Oh, it's you, Chi Han. Please, come in and have some tea," he greeted warmly. She sat down on the bamboo bench under the porch, her eyes anxious. After a few polite exchanges, she took a deep breath, her voice trembling. "Hung. I'm in trouble at work. We're handling a construction project, and yesterday they found a large sum of money missing. Now they're auditing everything, and I'm afraid they'll suspect me. I don't know what to do anymore." Hung looked at her, reading the genuine panic in her eyes. He spoke calmly, his tone steady. "Don't worry, Chi. Everything can be resolved. If you're innocent, you have nothing to fear. The missing funds should be investigated properly, let the police handle it. If you're the one being wronged, you should speak up early." She bowed her head, tears rolling down her cheeks. "Thank you. Hearing you say that makes me feel lighter. I haven't eaten or slept for days, terrified they'll blame me." He nodded gently. "Go gather all your documents. I'll call a few of my old colleagues from the district office. They'll guide you through the proper process. Don't face this alone." Ms. Han grasped his hand tightly, her voice breaking. "Thank you, truly. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't know what to do." She stood, bowed again in gratitude, and hurried away. As her figure disappeared at the village crossroads, Hung exhaled softly. He returned to the kitchen and lifted the lid of the clay pot. The aroma of braised fish, pepper, shallots, and caramelized sauce filled the air, rich and comforting. Outside, the sunlight slanted across the roof, casting golden streaks over the old brick floor. He placed the bouquet on the table, straightened the tablecloth, and poured tea into 2 cups. Excitement stirred quietly in his chest. Hung looked toward the gate, the dirt road leading back from the market, where, in just a little while, the woman he loved would return, carrying the gentle smile that had lingered in his heart every single day. Evening descended, wrapping the countryside in a soft golden hush. The last rays of sunlight glimmered through the bamboo groves, spilling over the red-tiled roofs where thin trails of smoke rose from kitchen fires, blurring into the gentle mist. The autumn breeze drifted lazily, carrying the scent of straw and ripe persimmons, that sweet, mellow fragrance that seemed to slow time itself. Along the dirt road leading back to the village, Hoai Ca carried 2 heavy baskets filled with persimmons. Sweat dampened her blouse, but her face still glowed with quiet joy. All day at the market, buyers had crowded around, everyone praised her fruit, crisp, sweet, and fresh. She remembered every smile, every word of praise that warmed her heart. Maybe tonight I'll make some persimmon jam. Tony will love that, she thought, her steps light and cheerful. By the time the shadows of the trees stretched long across the yard, she reached home. Setting down the baskets, she lifted the latch on the wooden door. It creaked open, and she froze. There stood Hung, in the middle of the room, holding a bouquet of bright red roses. The sunset streamed through the doorway, painting him in golden light, his familiar smile warm and gentle. "Hi," he said softly, his voice calm and deep like the evening wind. "Happy Vietnamese Women's Day." For a moment, Hoai Ca could only stand still, her heart skipping a beat. You came back from work already?" "I didn't expect you'd be home today," she stammered, her voice trembling, eyes shimmering with surprise. He stepped closer, extending the bouquet. The fresh roses, still glistening with dew, carried a faint fragrance that mingled with the warm scent of the kitchen fire, filling the room with tenderness. "I took the afternoon off," he said with a smile. "I made lunch myself. After we eat, I'll take you somewhere, a place you've never been." Hoai Ca smiled shyly, emotion swelling in her chest. She looked down at the flowers, her hands trembling slightly. It had been so long since she last received a gift. Not for its price, but for the thought behind it. In that moment, she felt small again, like a woman who simply wished to be remembered, to be cared for, and to have a gentle corner in someone's heart. The kitchen looked different that evening. The table was neatly set, covered with a clean cloth. On it sat a simple yet heartwarming meal. Plates of fresh shrimp spring rolls arranged in a circle, a bowl of green vegetables, slices of golden omelette, and a small dish of garlic chili fish sauce. Steam rose softly, filling the little house with warmth. As Hung rolled the spring rolls, he smiled. "This dish is light, easy to eat. Eat more greens, it's good for you. Oh, and later I'll get a new fridge for you and Tony. That way food won't spoil, and things will be easier." Hoai Ca looked at him, her nose stinging with emotion. Such a simple sentence, yet it carried so much care, no promises, no flowery words, just quiet affection. The kind of love she thought she'd never have again. She bowed her head slightly and whispered, "You're always so thoughtful. I'm really happy." Hung paused, watching her for a long moment. The oil lamp cast a soft glow over her face, her dark eyes gentle, lashes glistening with unshed tears. He said nothing more, only ladled some warm broth into her bowl, then rested a hand lightly on her shoulder, a touch so soft, yet it reached her heart. They sat across from each other, sharing their meal in quiet laughter and the warmth of the little kitchen. The rising smoke mingled with the golden lamplight, forming a thin mist that seemed to embrace them both. Outside, the wind whispered through the areca palms, carrying the scent of ripe persimmons and the first chirps of crickets into the night. When dinner ended, Hung poured more tea and said softly, "Let's go to the stream later. The wildflowers are in bloom this time of evening." Hoai Ca looked up and smiled, the smile of a woman who had weathered many storms, and now, at last, could feel the gentle warmth of peace. The sunset faded outside, giving way to the first lights glowing from nearby homes. They sat side by side, listening to the crickets, to the soft rustle of the night breeze through the leaves. No words were needed, in their eyes, everything had already been said. Peace is having someone to wait for, and someone to come home to. And in that small house, beneath the steady glow of the oil lamp, Hoai Ca knew, no matter how many storms life might bring, this moment right here was her true happiness. After dinner, as daylight slowly gave way to dusk, a cool breeze drifted in from the rice fields, carrying with it the gentle breath of the countryside. The sky turned a soft shade of orange-pink, its reflection shimmering across the ponds like scattered jewels of light. Hung wheeled out his old motorbike, the same one he always used when coming home to visit. Turning to Hoai Ca, he smiled. "Come on, let's go for a ride. The evening is beautiful today." She nodded softly, closed the wooden door, and climbed onto the back seat. The engine started with a low hum, and the bike rolled down the familiar village path. On both sides, the bamboos swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves rustling like the whispers of the homeland. The wind carried the scent of freshly harvested rice, young areca blossoms, and the faint sweetness of dry straw left behind after the harvest. They rode slowly, saying nothing, letting the rhythm of the engine blend with the sounds of the countryside as it drifted toward evening. In the distance, flocks of white storks glided home, their wings cutting through the sky now tinted with violet. A few minutes later, Hung turned onto a narrow road leading to a small red-tiled house tucked behind a grove of areca palms, the home of Mother Ha, the woman who had raised and loved Hoai Ca like her own daughter for so many years. Hearing the sound of the motorbike, Mother Ha looked up from the porch, her kind eyes lighting with joy. "Well now, Hoai Ca, and Hung too. You've come to visit," she said warmly, her voice as gentle as ever. Hoai Ca stepped down, holding a small bouquet that Hung had prepared earlier. She smiled and offered it with both hands. "Happy Women's Day, me. I wish you health and happiness, and thank you for always being by my side, loving me like your own child." The old woman took the bouquet and inhaled its soft fragrance, the scent of roses mingled with gentle hints of yellow chrysanthemums. She smiled, eyes crinkling with age but glowing with simple joy. "On a day like this," she said, "just being remembered by the ones you love, that's more than enough." Hung stood beside them, quietly watching. A rare sense of peace welled up in his chest. It struck him then, that sometimes, the simplest things were the truest form of happiness. After a while of chatting, Hung said goodbye, promising to bring little Tony to visit the next day. Mother Ha walked them out to the gate, calling after them. "Take it slow, children. The road gets dark fast, the mist comes early these days." The motorbike started again, gliding softly through the thin evening mist. Their silhouettes stretched long along the dirt road, fading into the dimming horizon. On the way back, Hoai Ca leaned her head gently against Hung's shoulder. Warmth spread through her, quiet and steady, until it reached her heart. The noise of life, the weight of hardship, all seemed to melt away. There was only the hum of the engine, the wind brushing through her hair, and the steady heartbeat of the man beside her. Hung said nothing, only glanced at her in the rearview mirror, his eyes tender and calm. The yellow lights from the small houses along the road flickered on one by one, illuminating them, a simple couple in the countryside, bound not by promises or grand gestures, but by the quiet presence of love shared in the moment. Hoai Ca smiled faintly, her lips brushing against the fabric of his shirt as she whispered, soft as the evening breeze. "I don't need much. Just this, for you to think of me, to care for me, like you did today." The wind carried the scent of areca blossoms and the song of crickets beginning their night chorus. And the little motorbike rolled on through the fading sunset, carrying two souls through the most peaceful stretch of their lives. Will this happiness last forever? Or are there unseen storms quietly waiting ahead? For life is never truly calm. Just when people begin to find peace, fate gently stirs, opening a new, unexpected crossroads. Stay tuned for the next episode, where shocking news from Miss Hana's workplace, Dua's older sister, begins to spread across the commune. A large sum of money has gone missing, an investigation is underway, and the names being mentioned will force Hung to step back into the storm. Between family and duty, between justice and compassion. Which path will Hung choose? Can he stay true to his ideals as a police officer, when the person involved is someone he once helped? And Hoai Ca, the woman who trusts him completely. How will she cope, when the man she loves must choose between his heart and his duty? A new storm is quietly gathering. And perhaps, the peaceful days they've just shared were only the calm before fate once again puts their love to the test.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mình tiếp tục đưa đến với mọi người video tiếp theo về câu chuyện của Hoai Ca và cảnh sát Hùng nha mọi người. Mọi người thân mến, thì ở trong tập trước như mọi người cũng đã biết là Hùng và Hoai Ca thì đã phải trải qua rất là nhiều khó khăn thì mới có thể đến được bên nhau ấy. Và bây giờ thì cả hai đã đang ở bên nhau, tuy nhiên vẫn rất còn nhiều khó khăn nữa. Hãy theo dõi các video trên kênh của mình để có thể biết được những tình tiết, những diễn biến của câu chuyện này nha. Hiện tại thì mình vẫn đang trong quá trình edit video và chưa có hoàn thành. Mình đang cố gắng để hoàn thành các bước cuối cùng. Với lại mình chỉ cần nối 1 phút cuối này nữa thôi là sẽ có thể hoàn thành rồi. Mọi người hãy theo dõi những video tiếp theo nha. Tạm biệt mọi người.